Unmasking the Hillside Stranglers, Terrors of Los Angeles. Are you ready to embark on a chilling journey into the dark depths of one of America's most notorious murder cases? Welcome to our channel, where we dare to explore the unsolved and spine-tingling stories that send shivers down your spine. We will delve into the case of the Hillside Stranglers that unleashed a reign of terror on the unsuspecting streets of Los Angeles. Their heinous crimes, spanning from kidnappings to cold-blooded killings, kept an entire city on edge and law enforcement on their toes. Join us as we meticulously piece together the perplexing clues and shocking revelations that will leave you questioning the very nature of humanity, unraveling the twisted minds behind these horrific acts. We will take you through the heart-pounding investigations and near misses that nearly allowed the killers to slip through the cracks. So, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss a single chilling episode. The Hillside Stranglers await, and it's time to confront the darkness that lurks among us. Let's unravel this terrifying mystery together. Background: Kenneth Bianchi moved to Los Angeles in 1976 to live with his cousin Angelo Buono Jr. Buono provided a strong role model for Bianchi. When Bianchi was short of money, Buono suggested getting girls to work as prostitutes. Two teenage runaways, Sabra Hannon and Becky Spears, met Bianchi and Buono and were forced to prostitute themselves. Spears met lawyer David Wood, who arranged for her escape. Hannon fled, and they found more teenage girls, impersonating police officers, and purchased a trick list with names of men frequenting prostitutes. Noble and her friend, Yolanda Washington, delivered the trick list to Buono in October 1977. Murders. Yolanda Washington. Buono was informed by Yolanda Washington that she consistently worked on a certain section of Sunset Boulevard. Deborah Noble had lied to Bianchi and Buono about the list, and when they couldn't track her out, they decided to exact their vengeance on Washington. On October 17, 1977, her naked body was discovered on a hillside close to the Ventura Freeway. When Detective Frank Salerno of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department was brought to the scene, it was discovered that the body had been washed before being abandoned, and that there were faint traces, indicative of the usage of a rope on the neck, wrists, and ankles. Moreover, the victim had been raped. Judith Miller. On November 1st, 1977, police discovered the body of a teenage girl on a parkway in a middle-class residential area in Los Angeles. The homeowner had covered her with a tarp to prevent neighborhood children from viewing her. Ligature marks were found on her neck, wrists, and ankles, indicating she was bound and strangled. The body was dumped, indicating she was killed elsewhere. Detective Salerno found a light-colored fluff on her eyelids, which was later saved for forensic experts. A coroner's report detailed that the girl had been assaulted and sodomized. Judith Lynn Miller, a 15-year-old former student of Hollywood High School, was last seen alive on Halloween, October 31st, 1977, talking to a man driving a large two-tone sedan. The Stranglers had told her they were undercover police officers, handcuffed her, and taken her to Buono's auto upholstery shop in Glendale. Lisa Caston. On November 6, 1977, the body of another woman, Alyssa Teresa, Lisa Caston, was discovered near the Chevy Chase Country Club in Glendale. She bore 5-point ligature marks and showed signs of strangling and brutal assault, but not sodomization. Caston, a 21-year-old waitress and professional dancer in the all-female dance troupe, the LA Knockers, was not a prostitute, drug user, or runaway. The Stranglers followed Caston after she was seen driving home from work, pulled her over, presented a fake police badge, and told her they were detectives. They handcuffed her and demanded her to be taken in for questioning. Catherine Lori Baker. The two men planned to kidnap and murder 24-year-old Catherine Lori Baker, who was the daughter of actor Peter Lorre, best known for his role as a serial murderer in Fritz Lang's film M, at some point in early November 1977. However, when asked for her driver's license, Lori also supplied a photo of herself as a toddler sitting on her father's lap. The two then let her go without incident because they were concerned that the murder of a celebrity's child would draw an unusually large number of media and police attention. When the men were taken into custody, Lori realized who the individuals were after recalling two men who had previously approached her while brandishing LAPD badges: Dolores Cepeda and Sonja Johnson. On November 13, 1977, Dolores Ann Dolly Cepeda and Sonja Marie Johnson were on an RTD bus heading home. They were last seen in a two-tone sedan with two men inside. On November 20th, 1977, a 9-year-old boy discovered their bodies in a trash heap near Dodger Stadium. Both girls' bodies had decomposed, and it was determined they had been strangled and raped. Christina Weckler. On November 20th, 1977, hikers discovered the body of 20-year-old Christina Weckler, an honors student at the Art Center College of Design, described by Detective Bob Brogan as a loving and serious young woman. Weckler was discovered on a hillside between Glendale and Eagle Rock. Upon examination, ligature marks were found on her wrists, ankles, and neck, while bruises were observed on her breasts and blood oozed from her rectum. Unlike the first three victims, Weckler had 2 puncture marks on her arm, but no needle tracks indicating a drug addict. It was later determined that Weckler had been injected with Windex, a common ammonia-based cleaner. Evelyn Jane King. The body of 28-year-old Evelyn Jane King, an aspiring actress who had vanished on November 9th in the area of bushes near the Los Feliz Boulevard exit of the Golden State Freeway, was found on November 23, 1977. She had been strangled like the others, but it was impossible to tell whether she had been raped or tortured due to the level of decomposition. A task team was established by the authorities to find the predator, now known as the Hillside Strangler. It was initially made up of 30 policemen from the LAPD, the Sheriff's Department, and the Glendale Police Department. Lauren Wagner. On November 29, 1977, police discovered the body of 18-year-old Lauren Ray Wagner, a business student in the San Fernando Valley. She had ligature marks on her neck, ankles, and wrists, and burn marks on her hands, indicating torture. Her parents had expected her to return home before midnight. When they found her car parked across the street, her father questioned the neighbors. He found that the woman who lived in the house where Lauren's car was parked saw her abduction. Hearing Wagner cry out, "You won't get away with this," during her abduction. Kimberly Martin. The body of Kimberly Diane Martin, a 17-year-old prostitute, was discovered uncovered and tortured on a desolate lot not far from Los Angeles City Hall on December 14, 1977. Since the strangler was still at large, Martin had previously joined a call girl agency out of dread of being exposed on the streets. She was the call girl who was sent after the murderers called her agency from a payphone at the Hollywood Public Library. The flat she was sent to was abandoned and broken into when the cops arrived to investigate. Cindy Hudspeth. On February 17, 1978, the final Hillside Strangler victim, Cindy Lee Hudspeth, was discovered in Los Angeles when a helicopter pilot spotted an abandoned orange Datsun on the Angeles Crest Highway. Police found her uncovered body in the trunk, showing ligature marks and evidence of assault and torture. Hudspeth's murder was unplanned, as she had been assaulted and tortured by Buono, a car upholstery shop owner. The two men had a private discussion, choosing Hudspeth as their next victim. Trial and investigation. In 1979, police charged Bianchi and Buono with assaulting and murdering 2 women. Bianchi fled to Bellingham, Washington, and was arrested for dissociative identity disorder. Court psychologists found him faking, and he agreed to plead guilty and testify against Buono in exchange for a leniency. Presiding Judge Ronald M. George, later Chief Justice of the California Supreme Court, stated during sentencing that he would not hesitate to impose the death penalty in this case. Despite using various forms of legalized execution, the defendants have evaded capital punishment. Bianchi is serving a life sentence at the Washington State Penitentiary, while Buono died of a heart attack in 2002 at Calipatria State Prison in California. In 1980, Bianchi began a relationship with Veronica Compton and testified for her defense during his trial. She was convicted and imprisoned for attempting to strangle a woman, attempting to make authorities believe the Hillside Strangler was still on the loose. Bianchi smuggled a semen-filled condom in a book spine to make it appear like rape or murder. She was released in 2003. It's time to wrap up our journey through the spine-chilling story of the Hillside Stranglers. But before we go, let's think about some intriguing questions. What makes people do such terrifying things? How did this dark tale change the city of Los Angeles? Can we figure out what's going on in the minds of these criminals? Stay tuned as we keep exploring mysteries and learning from our past. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our next episode. Let's keep uncovering secrets and facing our fears together. Remember, we're here to unravel mysteries one step at a time. Stay curious and stay brave. Until next time.